Right, welcome to Keeping Athena company. Right, my name is Athena Cabenu. I'm a comedian, writer, podcaster, and I've got a cold. That's why I sound like this. Do I sound like I've got a cold?
A little bunged up, yeah.
I sound a bit bunged up, yeah. I've got a cold. It's baby cold as well, which is the worst cold. Anyway, and I like to chat, but I can't chat too much these days because I've got a baby, but she's like 13 months and she doesn't say much other than, well, these days she can say a few words. She can say baba, hello, hi, and no. Why is it always no? They never learn it. Yes. So anyway, I need to invite adults around to chat with, to keep my company. So today I've invited around an adult. Are you an adult? You know, my nose is running. I got your tissue.
Debatable.
Right, sorted. Joe, the adult Joe.
Yeah, just blow your nose.
Sorry?
Just blow your nose.
Just
Really
blew my
start.
nose,
Right,
yeah.
nice and clear.
What's going on?
Like, I'm trying to be more. I'm trying to watch my language with things, with emails particularly. I don't want to write just in emails anymore.
Well, how do you mean?
Like you say, I was just wondering. I'm just checking in.
Yeah.
Got to be assertive and say, can I do this? What's going on with this?
It's quite a passive thing. Why are you trying to be less passive?
Because I'm trying to get things done.
Why not? You're not getting things done.
No, not quick enough.
Why not? Well, that doesn't.
Everything
doesn't
takes
feel right.
everything takes forever.
What do you think is not happening quicker that you'd like to happen quicker?
Well, specific things.
Yeah, why not?
I'm trying to find a video maker.
Okay, to make videos.
Yeah,
as in
to
music
make
videos.
make music videos, make anything. I'm just trying to find someone on the level to do it because everything
Yeah.
I do can literally take
Do you
years.
make your own videos normally?
I am at the moment, and I'm not a video maker, so they're
Right.
taking ages.
And do you have to hire a crew? You've got to get a sound person, lighting.
Potentially, I've done music videos which have had a whole kind of camera crew, and they were like big budget things. And I'm not a really big budget actor. It was just kind of a bit of a. It was quite masturbatory. It's unnecessary. Yeah, it wasn't. But then I've done videos that were like 80 quid, and they're just as valid if they're good.
Let's talk about this because you have a music career.
I mean, it's not a career. I make music.
You make music. How long have you made music for?
I put out an album in 2008, the first album.
So that was before you did comedy.
Yeah.
Was it your aim to be a musician, or did you just do it for the crap because you love music?
I wanted to just make music.
Yeah.
And then I was like, maybe I could do it. And then I put it out and I was like, no, I probably can't do it.
No? Why did you react negatively to your first release?
Because just like it was a different time. It wasn't going to happen. Back then, UK rap anyway was like a joke.
Yeah.
It wasn't taken seriously. Now it's pop music and it's completely credible and huge.
I know, it was either a joke or it was like super credible. So it was like Roots Maneuver, which was who like had like a lot of critical acclaim and like a lot of respect in the industry.
But he was the exception, not the rule.
That's what I mean. He was never going to go on top of the pops. So everyone else was just like,
What was that?
just dropped a plantain on the floor. Just eat it. It's fine.
2-second rule. Yeah, Roots Maneuver, then Dizzy in the Streets, and things were starting to change. But I'm talking about like underground UK rap, which was just Cannabis Psychosis, piano loops, like just no fans, no one support. There were no fans. Everyone just rapped. And then went to the shows. It was like the same 15 people.
What kind of names from that scene do you remember and you think that they were good and could have been great had only they had the support?
I think Task Force were like amazing.
Yeah.
And Farmer G from Task Force is now producing for like good underground US rappers. He's always been amazing. But that group that got me into rap really, those guys.
Okay, so you knew them and...
I didn't know them personally.
Yeah.
Know them personally, but listening to all the North London guys like Skinny Man and...
Yeah, Skinny Man, I remember him.
I started hanging out with Mongo.
Yeah.
From Mudfam.
Okay.
Love him. He's the nicest bloke ever. Big up Mongo. He makes albums in his car when he's waiting for his kids. He makes whole albums.
In the car. I don't understand how he does that.
Neither do I. He's got all the software and a little mic, and he just, when he's waiting in the car, he just starts making tunes.
He just does it in his spare time.
Yeah, it's crazy. He took me home from the studio once. We were using the same place in West London. He drove me back to Finsbury and he was like giving me... It was like a guided tour of UK rap from Mongo. It was amazing.
I often think that the one thing that we don't have, like, prior to kind of grime and garage is a good documentary, or we haven't documented kind of rappers in the same way. And like there's this book, a grime book, I can't remember what it's called now, that DJ Target put out.
I need to read it. Is it good?
But what's great is it's cemented in history now. Whatever happens in the future, we can go back to that book. And that's not the first grime book. There's lots of things that have come out to document like the grime story, and people have seen the pictures and they can see quotes and they can see names, and we don't have that really for the 80s and 90s, which is a shame, because like I still think we stand on their shoulders. Not we, I don't rap at all, but I still think people and creatives stand on their shoulders, because they were doing it for no money and no attention, as you were saying.
And it really was like bare bone stuff, and because grime was always around and garage was always around, and UK hip hop, even the name of it is kind of like a bit lame.
Well, I remember people used to just say you can't rap in a British accent, it sounds rubbish.
And they still say that, but like the figures prove otherwise. But when grime was sort of building up, it was just something different. It was immediately a turning point, you know?
And I think it was just marketed better because of social media.
Before social media, when they were just doing the DVDs and everything, there wasn't no market. It was, even then, it was like they're talking about how they banned drill stuff. Grime already had all that for years.
That's true.
There was no tours for grime rappers. It was Dizzy and who else? There was no, like, Pow got banned.
That's true. I mean, I was at uni when that was happening, and like they were just shutting down raves for like middle class students. It's like nothing is going to happen in the middle of Birmingham city centre with all these middle class people from Beckenham. It's not a big deal.
I remember when there wasn't really raves for grime, but it was all pirate radio, and then there's like things like Sidewinder, Stratford Rex, which I'd never go to that anyway. And then eventually it became cool and hipster when Skepta brought it back. And it sort of comes and goes. And DEE's doing adverts for IKEA, so... I
know, that's mad. What's your opinion on that?
Love it.
Because I love it too.
Love it. He's a national treasure, that man.
And I like the fact it's DEE. If it was Stormzy, I might not have liked it so much.
Yeah, Stormzy would never have done that.
He doesn't need to. Sorry, what's wrong with you? I've given you all the plantain. Do you want banana? What do you want?
She wants to be interviewed about grime.
So do you consider yourself a grime artist?
No.
How would you describe your music?
I'm a comedian that raps. When I started...
Oh, that's interesting, a comedian that raps.
Yeah. When I started doing stand-up, literally when I started doing open mics, Doc Brown was getting big.
Yeah.
And he had the videos from Russell Howard and the Comedy Store thing.
Oh, so, right, when you say getting big as a comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Getting big as a comedian. And I remember seeing it and I was like, oh, fuck, then. I can't put my music in anything I do.
Yeah.
Because it would just be biting completely. So I used to do them separately.
You feel like he cast a shadow over comedy rap?
He didn't cast a shadow. He came out the gate with what he was doing, and I just, first of all, wasn't even good enough comedically to really attempt that yet. It took a little bit of time before I brought it in, but I just remember thinking, well, that's probably what I would have done, so I need to just develop stand-up for a while if I'm going to take it seriously. That's
interesting, and also like quite humble. I think there's room. I think generally speaking, musical comedy is always
bad.
So you have to be quite careful with it anyway whenever you approach it, because a lot of the time when you walk into stage, if you're holding a guitar or ukulele, people go, "Oh my gosh!" Yeah. So it's always something you tentatively get into. And I think it takes a lot of humility to say, "I'm going to do this," but maybe not yet because it's been done so well.
Yeah. I had to have a different approach anyway to like, and I think we do things a little differently. Like I never wanted to do full songs. Yeah. As a stand-up, like I felt my issue was I didn't want to trivialize either thing. Yeah. Because I love both of them. So what I ended up doing was kind of shorter skits and just
dipping in and out. So where would you say you're at now with your music comedy? Would you say you're a comedian who raps? Do you have like a show now which is like comedy and rap put together? Do you rap all the time when you do comedy, or does it?
No. But I like figuring out new ways to utilize the music that's original. Yeah. Like I just shot my first bit of TV. I did the Harry Hill thing.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
I loved it.
Yeah, what did you love about it?
It was the greatest day of my life.
It was the greatest day. What was it? It is great doing your first bit of TV. Like, as a stand-up.
I don't have an agent, you know. I just was there by myself. My dad came to watch, and he'd never seen me do comedy well. He saw me do it badly once. But
can I ask, can I ask how you got the gig as someone who doesn't have an agent?
Well, I was booked to do Tom Ward's Goodfather.
Yeah.
Big up Tom Ward, who put me on. And then Harry was the headliner.
Yeah.
And I literally just did a good set.
Yeah.
And Harry and the producer were there, and they said, we're doing a thing, get in touch.
Yeah.
And I did. He gave me his email address on a piece of paper.
Wicked.
Harry. And I was like, I was going to all the meetings with the producers, and I didn't have representation, so I wasn't believing what was going on.
Yeah.
And like after a meeting for about an hour talking about stuff, I was like, am I going to be on your television program? I had to keep asking.
That was quite intense. So they didn't just say you can do it. They went through a lot of meetings and discussions.
It wasn't a lot, it was a couple meetings. That's why I couldn't believe it was happening. I was like, really?
What are the meetings about? I would actually know they want you or they don't want you.
Well, I think the meetings were to fill you out and see like what you're about, whether, you know, just to figure it out if you're ready, what you can bring to the table, if there's any other things you could contribute. You wouldn't want to just bring them in completely cold.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So that's amazing. So it was the greatest day of your life.
It was the greatest day of my life because I just, like what I was thinking on the day was I was glad it took ages. I'm going like 10 years.
Yeah.
Music and comedy about 10 years. And I was thinking, you always want breaks early on.
Yeah.
But I realised if I'd have got a break 5 years ago, I would have done something boring.
And you wouldn't have been ready.
Nah.
Yeah, that's how
you always want, like, I messed up every competition final I was ever in.
Yeah. Because
I was like rushing, I need this to happen. I just wasn't ready. Just sometimes people get better quick. It happens when it happens. But I knew when I was going to go out, what I was doing, what I was about, I was ready, and it was lovely. I'm still in the 90s.
Yeah.
I love the 90s.
The 90s was, I think musically, the 90s was the best decade, especially if you like hip-hop and rap music. There's no...
All types of music, like electronica I love, best stuff was in the 90s, like Aphex Twin, rock music, indie, pop. The pop music was great because people supported the record industry. They were buying tapes and CDs, and it was like...
Yeah, and...
Now it's just anything can happen in the charts, you don't know.
Yeah, and it's a lot more... There was still cynicism in those days, so you still had like the Spice Girls and manufactured pop or whatever, but that wasn't...
It was pure, man.
But they would be competing against what you would call, I don't know, authentic music.
Right. You know,
it would be like, what will be number one today? Spice Girls or Blur or some shit like that. Whereas that potentially wouldn't. Well, it doesn't happen now. Really, it's all unless people are self-made. It's all kind of very cynical. And that's why Ed Sheeran... I mean, the weird thing is I actually quite like Ed Sheeran, but the energy that goes behind him and promoting him is basically because the industry thinks he's the only person that can sell.
Yeah,
and that takes away.
On the way here, I was listening to the new Game album.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it, but it begins with Ed Sheeran.
Game?
Yeah.
Shut up. What's he... So this is like really... So
how mad is that? It's crazy.
They're so...
the album is called West Side, and it starts and finishes with Ed Sheeran.
And I feel like that he's not... I get it. He's musically astute enough to be able to make music of different genres because he understands music and he has some kind of pedigree because he has a relationship with rap and British grime. But that's
still mental.
That's mad. But
and it's just accepted as the norm because he's just such a huge.
Could you imagine the conversation? Like, right, we want to listen.
We got to reach out to the hole in my head. How?
That's mental. So it's getting boring. Not that, no shade to Ed because I do like him. I haven't got beef with him. I can't. Energy behind him.
I love how huge he is. I love that he's really good mates with Stormzy and they do songs together and it's just like they're just buds. I love it. But I wouldn't listen to any Ed Sheeran. But when I've heard his stuff, like you can see the talent. The kid's amazing and he really worked for it.
When he first started coming out, I listened to him a lot because at the time I was listening to like Dot Cotton and all those grime people, and he was
Doc Cotton.
Dot
from Dot
Rotten.
Yeah.
Dot Rotten, sorry.
Did you say Dot Cotton?
I said Dot Cotton because I was thinking of Doc Brown. I meant Dot Rotten.
Yeah.
Because even I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Dot Rotten's back.
Is he back?
He just did a good diss song
for Ed Sheeran.
No, that would be good. No, it was, Dot Rotten's amazing.
Yeah, so there was a whole grind clique that was doing all right, like maybe 5-6 years ago, maybe longer.
Yeah, and he was collabing with them all.
He was collabing with them all, and that's how I got to know him. And I kind of
he gigged everywhere.
Yeah.
He was always about. And I kind of like the fact that he's a rock star, but he's like the most unconventional. He's like a little ginger dweeby kid.
He doesn't even dress. He wears like flannel shirts.
Yeah, it looks like shit.
I find it a little bit outrageous. Like you're in front of Wembley, in front of 80,000 people. Like, do something. Comb your hair.
Get a stylist,
Comb
man.
your hair,
What's going on?
And you can look scruffy and smart at the same time. If you say to him, you've got to come to this place where it's smart casual, he'll be like, no, I can't do that. It's too smart for me. That's far too smart. Well, I'm Ed Sheeran. Who do you like now? Who do you think? Okay, who
Music.
Yeah, musically.
What new guys? I like to listen to as much new as I can, but I am very much stuck in the past. I like to. Let me think of who.
Even who's in
my
the past.
My favorite thing at the moment. I really like the new Griselda album. You ever heard of them?
I don't know Griselda.
So Griselda, I love New York rap, underground rap.
Yeah.
So like Rock Marciano, and kind of those lads. Rock Marciano's my favorite rapper, probably.
Yeah.
And so they're from Buffalo, New York. It's a guy called West Side Gun.
Right. Sounds
Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher, and they made all these albums, like mixtapes called the Hitler Wears Hermes series. West Side Gun made, and basically they did loads of tunes, and then they got picked up by Shady Records. So Eminem co-signed them, and this Griselda is their crew, and it was the first major label album. It came out a couple of days ago, and it was good, really good. And they put the Eminem verse at the end so it didn't ruin the project.
Yeah.
Because he's a bit fruity these days.
He has lost it a little bit.
Ah, big time.
What
Big star.
do you think? Where do you think he's gone wrong in his recent endeavours?
It's a really good question. I think what it is he just is he's too technical. It's like robotic. There's no personality. He's demonstrating like really good lyrical ability and wordplay, but there's no substance. That's why these guys, the Griselda lot, they just come on with the ad libs. They say very little, but they sell it well, and there's passion with what they're saying.
I think you're actually right. So when I heard Rap God, I was like, this guy has nothing to say anymore other than, I'm good at rap.
It's just gibberish.
We know that you're good at rap. We know you can write. We know you can do this.
I remember it was like a couple of years ago. I was listening to Slim Shady LP in the car, and I was like actually offended because it'd been a while since I was offended by what he was saying because I was listening to it back. I was like, I can't believe he said some of this stuff.
What was some of the stuff he said that was outrageous?
Well, he was talking about like slitting throats like Ron Goldman. He's talking about like the song Guilty Conscience.
Yeah.
When you listen to it with fresh ears, it's actually like horrifically out of order. He's talking about raping, underage sex, what else is going on? Just murder, blah, 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 blah. But like at that time when he came out, he was really saying something. He had the timing of a stand-up comic. He was funny. He was hilarious, dangerous. Some of the stuff he was saying was crazy. And now if you look at him, he's kind of late, mid-40s. The production's still terrible.
Yeah.
He always produces the worst beats. And it's just...
Well, his whole narrative, they always try to have it be, Dre helped me learn how to be a producer.
Yeah.
But it never... He had one song he produced that I liked. It was that Tupac one.
Oh, don't get me started about that.
Was it
with the collabs with Tupac.
Yeah.
Stop.
That I didn't mind.
And Elton John. And
no,
Tupac.
Not that one. I didn't know that. I think it was Ghetto Gospel or something it was called. I think he produced that. And I was like, this isn't the worst song I've heard.
Well, that's where you get to with Eminem. You're like, it's not terrible. It's bad.
Isn't that the story?
It's bad. I'll take that.
Isn't that the story of all rappers? So yesterday I was listening to a 90s mix on Spotify. And I remember thinking to myself, like if LL Cool J came on, I thought, LL Cool J, he can't rap again, can he? Not at his age.
No, you've got to switch it up. I was reading something about how rappers don't ever have kind of 3 classic albums in a row. It's very disposable. It's really hard to stay on the top.
So
like
the only
people that have done it, probably Jay-Z. I don't really know. Like Jay-Z just reinvented.
Kanye, yeah. Kanye's done it. It is about the production.
It's just the attitude.
Because not even Nas has done it, but Nas raps over the worst beats. I don't know who chooses his beats.
Someone needs to have a word.
But it's a real shame because he has bangers, but you wouldn't listen to his whole album.
No.
But I don't know what that's about. I think that's about relationships.
Back to Eminem. Do you remember when he put out the Revival album and it was so panned?
I didn't hear one song of it.
I tell you what, that was one of the most unenjoyable listens I've ever had of any artist, especially because I love the guy. You listen to it, I just couldn't believe.
Was that the song with the Rihanna collab? Or was that
Walk
the album
on Water with Beyonce? It was that one.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't hear it.
So he put out this album. It's got the Ed Sheeran things, and it was just a total disaster. There's, have you ever heard of the Needle Drop? The guy that reviews music on YouTube.
No.
His review of the album is more entertaining than the album because he just savages it. But I remember when it came out, people were kind of in shock at how bad it was. And then the response was so bad that he actually rush released that album Kamikaze like literally 2 weeks after to try and make up for it so people would forget it even happened. It was like...
And what was Kamikaze like?
It was good. It was good. You wouldn't I haven't listened to it or revisited it, but it was good. It was more entertaining. He talked about current things going on and referenced the situation with the last LP and talking about current issues with other rappers and the rest of it. But I think with Eminem, he's such a big seller and his fan base are so... they're not normal rap fans. It's pop music. So he's like appeals to... all Marines and stuff, weird American people.
He could put out crap and it would still shift.
Yeah, of course, and it did. But I just don't understand. He doesn't need to try, so I guess he doesn't.
Who are your rap heroes? You talked about underground rap, like your favourite underground rapper. Who are your other rap heroes? Or music heroes in general?
I like really bad 90s pop music. I love Ian Brody and the Lightning Seeds.
Yeah.
My favourite group is Boards of Canada that make weird electronica. My favourite rappers, I always say people and then regret other people haven't said. But I'm thinking, I love Action Bronson when he came out. He was just amazing. Like 2012 times, he was just the best. Who else do I like?
I like the Lighthouse Family, if we're going to talk about cheesy 90s bands.
Yeah, I love the Lighthouse Family.
Bad.
My favourite rapper is probably Sean Price.
Who's Sean Price?
From New York. He died when I was at Edinburgh Fringe. Oh,
yeah, that's what you done. You played with a toy. Like you pressed the button.
So seductive. He died a few years ago. He's like just the best. He's the best rapper ever. Like he just drops bars. He's just funny, charismatic, and he was getting better as he was getting older.
Yeah, how did he pass?
I think he died in his sleep. Something was going on. He was a big dude. He was like rock and roll. I think he used to do drugs and I don't know, something happened. It was very untimely.
A lot of rappers died in an untimely way.
Yeah,
like
shocking.
Big Pun. I remember when Nate Dogg passed. And I sometimes feel a lot of it is like, I just want you guys to look after yourself, man.
Yeah, no.
You don't have to be smoking weed all day.
Now it's even worse with the young kids and the Zans and the lean, dropping like flies. It's awful.
It's like
Mac Miller, the guy who's 20. I don't even think he was 27, 26
and there's just no
or something.
need for it. Like all the support that he would have had around him. There's just no need for it. There should have.
It's a tragedy.
And there's no need to. These people make so much money. There's no need for them to have to work continuously as well. Like have a holiday, have a rest.
They don't have holidays. They don't have holidays. They keep going. But yeah, Sean Price definitely one of my favourite rappers. Top 3. Action Bronson. Who else? Rock Marcy. Yeah, man. I love all those guys. There's probably loads more.
If you had a choice, if you had a pill, one pill was like rap career and the other pill was comedy career, which one would you take?
Comedy.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you get out of comedy you don't get out of music?
Well, I don't know, I think with rap, it's like, I love rap so much and I get so much from writing and performing and making music, but I feel like being a comedian is more authentic for me.
Yeah. Like
on my soul.
Is that because you're white?
Partially, maybe. But I don't know. If I was younger, I would have said rap.
Yeah.
I like comedy because you can ease into it and you get better over time. With rappers, they always have a go at people for being old.
Yeah, that's true.
It's only in rap. Like, you wouldn't say this journalist is going 22 years. You can't trust what he's been saying.
Rapping is like being a footballer. Like you get to 35, 36, you got to start thinking about another career.
You're done.
Do you know what I mean? You got to invent Tidal or something. You need another way to make money.
Oh, Danny Brown, one of my favourite rappers.
Oh, Danny Brown as well.
I love Danny Brown, and he's getting on a bit, and he's reinventing with every album and taking risks. He's like almost 40.
Yeah,
he's definitely one of my favourites.
There's something very youthful about rapping and hip hop. It doesn't work when old people do it. I can't imagine in 20 years' time, like some kind of revival of all the old rappers, and they come and Eminem limps onto stage and Dr. Dre, like Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg has to stop now. It doesn't.
He's not stopping. He's going to go all the way.
But even he has to stop.
His new album's good. He's doing good. He makes good music. Yeah. I kind of like that, because when we were younger, rap was still young. And now all the rappers are going to get old, and we're going to see them get old. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Maybe if I had
elder statesmen, everyone takes them seriously now. Rap is no joke. People, billionaires off.
They'll probably become like presidents and members of parliament.
Yeah, I reckon Kanye could be the president. People could make that happen.
I think he could be the president. My thing on Kanye at the moment, I've not listened to his recent album.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Not a fan of him at the moment, because I just think he's not. Nothing he says makes sense anymore.
I can't decide whether he's got a lot like undiagnosed mental health issues, like bipolar or something with medication that's gone wrong, or whether he is on cocaine, or he's just trolling everyone. I can't figure him out.
I think he's an attention seeker, and I just in the first half of his career, like his first few albums up to graduation, he was getting attention for really rational things he was saying, and for creativity,
right?
And for like doing things that then had an influence on not just rap music but all music. There are things that happen now, just ordinarily music, that happened because Kanye West did it. But now it just feels like, I think it's the Kardashian influence, it's all about that encouragement to, if you do something and it makes lots of noise and gets your attention, and it's a good thing to do.
I think you're right.
And that was never his process before. His process before was just to create, and he'd get attention based on what he created. But now it's like, I have to do this, and if it explodes, it's because I'm great and not because the internet's mad and just explodes things that don't necessarily deserve the attention. I've heard his album, some people said his album's trash, some people said it's amazing, so I haven't decided.
I think his production's amazing. He's never been a good rapper to me. I loved his early album.
No, I always say this about Kanye, he gets out-rapped by all of his guest stars.
Of course.
And I think that's amazing, because most people wouldn't allow that. Jay-Z wouldn't allow it, you know. But for so that's the evidence.
Like, I think I have to actually give him a pass, because he put out the Pusha T album, which was amazing.
Yeah, which was dope.
And like that whole thing with Drake and Pusha, like, that's because of him.
That argument,
messing around.
Yeah.
He was responsible.
That was good beef. I appreciated that beef. That was a fresh. There hasn't been beef like that since. That was great beef. If you guys don't know, Pusha T outed Drake's having a kid.
Oh man.
And it was just great.
That song was devastating.
Yeah.
Devastating.
And we hadn't had beef like that in a long time. And Kanye's quite good at building bridges, or knocking bridges down in the community. What was that project he had? Where it had like Common and Big Sean.
Oh yeah.
That was half decent. Good music or something. Anyway, why was it about Kanye? Yeah. Oh, if I had to pick a pill, right, comedy and rap, can't rap, don't know anything about music, I'd be a rap star.
Yeah, being rappers is great.
I'd take that pill if I could instantly overnight be Lil Sims or something. I'd do it. 10 seconds, like, not even 10 seconds, half a second, I'd take that pill.
Yeah,
fuck comedy, fuck driving. Rappers that have to drive.
This is true. All right, you're selling it to me.
Rappers that have to drive.
Are you saying? But what are you saying? I take the pill and become what? A really super big rapper. Instantly,
you walk out of this house right now, everyone knows who you are. Oh my God, you know Joe. I'd be like, yeah, I know Joe. You'd be signing autographs because you'd have had a hit album. You'd have been
touring with Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran on your record. So an instant fame rap music career.
Yeah,
I would take that over a 5-hour drive to Aberystwyth and back.
That's true.
Rappers that do it. Rappers get private jets. You know, and rappers, I'll tell you what rappers do get. They show up to gigs, and the gigs are exactly what they need them to be. Microphone, stage, lighting. Comedians bring them up to gigs, and we see massive ceilings, tables, chairs around the sides, like all kinds of stuff. And people put up people decide what the enemy of comedy is and they put them in your room. And you think, I'm driven here. I'm not getting paid that much money. You can't even have everybody facing the same direction.
The thing I love about rap, something else I love about rappers is at the moment they seem to be held to like a lower standard morally than other art forms. Do you know what I mean? Like
definitely.
They can say and do things where anyone else that said it was like, hang on a minute, you can't do that. You can't say that.
I've got an opinion on this, and I'll use we'll have to wrap up on this, but I'll use Robin Thicke's Fine Lines. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that was bad times.
But here's the thing, right? So I actually quite like the song. I thought, it's a great song. And then everyone started saying, well, actually, it's about taking consent away from a woman, and that killed his career, right?
Stone
But
dead.
it was T.I. was on that record.
He said worse stuff.
Yes, he said worse on the record, and Pharrell produced it, and no one gave a shit. And that's
Pharrell's too squeaky clean.
There's two things that play here. First of all, what you said about rap music being held to a lower standard, that's because black people are held to a lower standard. Oh, black people can be outrageous, you can be disgusting. Oh, white people know we want to protect us and our community for that's why Eminem got into so much trouble, because white people listen to Eminem. If white people didn't listen to him, he would not have been as controversial as he was when he was at the height of his fame. And on top of that, the other thing is misogynoir. So basically, black men and anyone associated with rap can say what they like about women, and it won't matter. Oh, but then if a white person who isn't associated with rap starts saying it, we're gonna start boycotting you. So there's something deeper going on when we talk about rap, people who make rap being allowed to say anything, because the audience who listens to it aren't being protected by society, in my opinion.
No, definitely. I could talk about this for ages. I put a new EP out, and one of the songs on it is it's a misogynistic rap about feminism. I've got a video coming for it. But yeah, I think it's really interesting that the dynamic between rappers and their audiences is funny as well, because they can like slate certain types of people that are probably the ones that listen to them as well, which comedians can't do.
Yeah, that's I guess rap fans get irony in a way that comedy fans don't.
Yeah,
that's probably where my career is, where it's at, because I do spend a lot of my career having to go at white people, and literally 90% of the country is I think I'm not targeting my jokes at the right percentage.
Can I just say, someone, I don't know who it was that said, but someone said Ed Sheeran's song "The Shape of You" is dancehall for white people. I don't know who that was, but I love that line. It's so true.
It is a little bit, yeah. That's what Rihanna says about Major Lazer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she says it's like reggae, lift music reggae or something.
Yeah.
I was like, it's watered down stuff. It's about Ed Sheeran. What I like him, he's the Elvis of his generation.
Ed Sheeran is the Elvis of his generation.
Yeah,
you reckon?
Yeah, just like taking music that people wouldn't normally access and saying, "Oh, you can listen to this now." And it's
amazing how he's blagged it. Like, he's on the Game album. I'm sorry, it's crazy.
He has the best manager. I don't know who his manager is, but I'll tell you what: talent and management, if you get the right, get the right chemistry, you can go so far.
I got a question for you, right? When people are really, really huge and famous, do you think that they have to be dicks? Do you think Ed Sheeran, like behind closed doors, is like a savage when he's doing his deals and like really, really mean? Because he just seems like.
Yeah, I do.
He must be, right?
You have to know your value and know your worth and fight for it, and you have to be a dick to do that. So I think if he was in this room right now, he'd be lovely. Yeah. But then when it came to like payment and rights and copyright and image rights, there'd be like a lot of conversations with lawyers with briefcases, and I'd probably end up dead in the back of a truck somewhere. No, I think so. I think you have to, not even just in the music world, in the comedy world. I noticed people who do really well in comedy are just really good at the business of it.
Yeah, really and the network. Good. I don't know how to network.
Yeah.
How do you network? I just thought networking is a conversation.
Well, what you did with Harry Hill was networking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was networking, but they were...
I don't think it was, though, because I just did the show.
But you did the show, and then they said, we really like you, and then you responded to that, and you emailed them, and and then it ended up in that really cool spot, and it ended up in the best day of your life. I think networking is about meeting people who can help you and making an impact on them so they remember you, and that your name gets said in a room.
So, is networking not approaching someone and making them try and like you when you haven't done anything? Because that's what I want. Is that not networking? No. That's where I'm going wrong.
I think if you've had an encounter with someone who could help you with your career, it's about leaving them with an impression that means when an opportunity comes up, they will remember your name.
Interesting.
That's what I think it is. And it's the same, I mean, in my day job, my contract, so I have to network all the time. So if I'm working with a client and I do a good job, I'll say, I'm so glad I've done a good job, I'm leaving here in February. Talk later, so they'll know I'll be available or something like that. I don't know if you can hear this, my daughter's snoring.
That's what I think. It's such a good addition to a podcast. A sleeping baby. This is the effect I have on people.
We fill their stomach with plantain now. Now she's asleep though. We should probably wrap it up. Unless I always say, or I've started to say, like, any final thoughts, get them off your chest now because I'm about to start record. On anything you can remark upon my middle class existence, how I've gone.
I think this is a beautiful home. It's good to see you.
Yeah,
glad you're doing good. You probably won't see me again because I'm going to be on TV, big star.
Well, I wanted to get you in because I know what it's going to be like. You'll get on TV, you'll forget little old me and all your pals, pals from the open mic scene. You'll be like, Athena who? Dangerous T who? I don't know these people.
Bringing tea on tour, are you mad?
All right, well, let me take this opportunity to say, well done.
Thank you.
On life. And I'm wearing your hat backwards.
There you go.
You're doing it now.
Of course.
All right. Oh, thank you for coming to keep my company. That was Joe Jacobs, everyone. Isn't he great? He came to my house straight from Cardiff. He finished a gig, stayed overnight, and then drove all the way to my house to do this podcast. That's so kind of him. I was so appreciative of the fact he got to meet my daughter, and we got to hang out for a bit as well. We don't see each other often enough. So nice to see you, Joe. Thanks for coming around. Catch up with Joe Jacobs online, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. He also does loads of cool things online. He's got these great characters that he does. So look, you want to get involved with him now before his star rises, and you've got to pay stadium or arena prices to see this guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Get to know him now. His star is rising. Finally, I will say what I always say. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, do what you do with podcasts you like. You can comment, you can like, you can share, you can even chat to me about this. I'm online on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those things. I'm off to make a massive pot of hot pepper soup, maybe some ginger tea, and maybe I'm going to find someone to rub some Vicks into my chest because I do not feel well at all. I will hopefully see you next time with a slightly less nasal voice. We'll catch up soon.